All right. Oh, look at this light I got in the background.
Fire, bro. No more Christmas lights?
Watch this. No hands.
Oh?
Oh,
Oh? Okay. You
I
should just
just do
leave.
this
Is
by
that like
looking
a
at it.
setting where it's just doing it? Is it just doing it by itself?
I'm doing it on my phone.
Is there a way you can set it where it plays by itself?
Yeah. Like a strobe effect or like
Yeah.
a solid fade or something. Yeah.
There you go. Leave it. Just
All
leave
right.
it like that. Leave it for the entire episode. Let
Doing
it
it?
just.
Okay.
Yeah.
It just turned off though. What the fuck?
Maybe it's restarting. Oh, yeah.
Strobe. Solid fade. Why is it doing? Okay, how about solid strobe? Give me just one moment to figure this out.
Okay.
Why is it turning off?
Get that fade going, bro.
Right, bro. I know. I'm trying to copy you. You got that nice fade. I'm trying to get.
I mean, come on, bro. What are we talking about, bro?
Dude, like, come on. Effects. I swear it was doing it the other day, and now it's just going off and then on to green.
Oh, now it's blue.
Now it's blue. This is strobe effect. All right. But the solid fade should work. I'm just going to leave the solid fade on for a little bit and let it run its course.
Okay.
Oh, whoa, never mind. I just fucked it up. All right, whatever. Let's get into it. I'm wasting too much time. All right, what's up, everybody? Welcome to Challenge Express. A choo-choo.
Yeah.
We are back. I'm here with my boy Adonis. What's up, Adonis?
What up, bro? Another week, another challenge episode, bro. We here, bro.
Amen. We gotta hold on to it because it's almost over.
I know, bro. I know.
We are finally at the final, but let's talk about the episode. Episode 16, Ryder dies. So I'm assuming the final is going to be a two-parter, so 18 episodes. I mean, 100-hour final, you got to assume so.
2 episodes?
Can we talk about the 100-hour?
I mean, this might go past 2 episodes. Because how many days is 100 hours?
I mean, it's like 3.5 or like almost 4. 24. Yeah, 68. Like,
oh, man.
Yeah.
I don't
It
know.
might be like 4 days.
Yeah, bro. Fuck.
Yeah, I don't know how I feel about it. How do you feel about like are you looking forward to this?
Yes, the preview made it look like everything I want in a final. Throwing up, blood, crying. There was a shot of them on like the bikes. It was like reminiscent of Free Agents. So I was
running
like,
through trees, seeing somebody hurt their ankle.
Yeah, like injury, ambulance sirens in the back. Bro, it's like those are all the things you want to see in a final.
Yeah, it does look like a good final.
Yeah,
but we'll see. Let's talk about the episode.
100 hours though.
100 hours.
Ooh, who's the creator of this show?
You know, Horacio. I think they showed all the rookies this season. If they never saw a season of the challenge, they showed them War of the Worlds 1. And I think there's a reason for that, because that final was so brutal that maybe they were expecting this final to also be brutal.
Oh, damn, bro. Yeah. War of the Worlds 1, bro. They trying to kill these people, bro.
Yeah, it was like run, also run. And you see those dunes over there? Yeah.
Run.
So, yeah, we'll see, man. Does Bananas get credit for not seeing an elimination yet?
I mean, I was thinking about this after the episode had aired. I was like, yep, that was the everybody realizes Bananas is still in the game episode of the season.
Yeah.
If you're just became a challenge fan in the last like 3 seasons, you'll realize that whenever Bananas is on a season, there's that one episode every season.
Yeah, it's like, what's this guy doing here?
100%. Everyone against Bananas.
Yeah.
Every season it happens.
Yeah.
Every season. I will go on record and say that. It happens every season.
Yeah.
And this was the episode.
Yeah.
So 100% credit goes to Bananas for making it to 15.
From beginning to end. I mean, they were talking about it. So, I think I don't know if he deserves credit. He did go down to like the daggers twice. So, I mean, luck has to do with it. He could have easily seen 2 eliminations, but luck was on his side.
He won a few dailies. Him and Nani won a few dailies.
Yeah, and it was a very confusing season, so where you didn't want to win all the dailies, especially in the beginning, because you're nominating half of the house, putting a target on your back. So it was a weird season. It's hard to say that he played a great game to where he dodged all of these eliminations. It happened like that. So, obviously there's a skill set in there somewhere, but I think it's like even between luck and skill that he was able to dodge all that.
Yeah.
Fessy and I mean, like I said, the whole episode is basically, what's Bananas doing here? Why hasn't he seen elimination? So Fessy and Jordan are talking about it. Jordan mentions that's his MO. He doesn't go into elimination. I listened to Bananas podcast and he said, how is that my MO? Out of 20 seasons, I have seen eliminations in 18 seasons. He kind of has a point.
Yeah, but yeah, that's true. But let's point out a couple of those seasons he got knocked out pretty quick.
Early, real quick.
I mean, he didn't do too hot during the World of Worlds era.
No, after, I mean, honestly, the whole cliche, the curse, after that, after he stole the money, he was struggling a lot.
What were the seasons that he didn't see an elimination? Well, I know Rivals 2 is one of them. For a fact.
Rivals 2 was one of them for a fact. He said the beginning, some of his earlier seasons were the ones where he didn't see an elimination. So I'm assuming a gauntlet. I think he made it to the final in one of the gauntlets or Infernos, but didn't win the final.
How about, I was going to say the island, but I think he did.
The island, he saw a couple of like eliminations or whatever they were.
We got to fact check it, but I know Rivals 2 is one of them.
Yeah. Rivals 2 is definitely one of them. There must be only one other unless he was lying, which could have definitely happened. And then, Devin wants to target Bananas while Tori wants to target Fessy. I think Devin wants to target Bananas because he has 7 wins, because he's a decorated champion, because it's a good storyline between Devin and Bananas.
And just for the episode.
Yeah, for the episode. Maybe he was just entertaining the idea for the episode for it to be a good edit, because Devin is smart. But, he was targeting Bananas earlier in the season. Obviously, he's one of the better teams still left in the game, but I do agree with Tori when she says Fessy and Mariah are a bigger threat in the final.
Right.
Whether it's marginal or not, obviously Nani and Bananas have a ton of experience in finals. Fessy and Mariah do not. But these mini finals that we've seen throughout the season, Fessy and Mariah proved to be dominant in. So I agree. And I love, skipping ahead a little bit, I love the fact that, although Fessy and Mariah were my pick to win the whole thing, I do love the fact that they're not in the game anymore, because it is almost a completely even playing field in this final, which we do not see often.
Yeah. Also, this is weird that the person that I'm about to mention was the one who brought this up. Zach, Challenger Zach, has surprisingly been on Twitter.
Zach Nichols?
I'm bringing in the social medias of it.
Zach Nichols?
Zach Nichols. Like, you bring the podcast information, I'm gonna bring the social media information.
Yes, the best of both sides.
Yeah, so Zach has been surprisingly following along the season and randomly making tweets on thoughts that he has.
Oh, so he's trying to get casted again? Okay.
I guess. That's the assumption, right?
Yeah.
He randomly tweeted, I think Rogan should come back. Okay. Okay,
Really?
that's a little random.
I do too, but that's weird.
But one of his tweets about this episode was he pointed out how Tori was so for throwing in Fessy and Mariah, and he pointed out the fact that a few weeks ago she was giving Jordan a lot of shit for wanting to go that route. Now, mind you, they were different. They were on the team
Different
situation,
circumstances.
but it is like, oh, I mean, he kind of like, Tori was like trying to save Fessy a few weeks ago, and now like she's all over it with this one.
Yeah, I mean, there's a little to that, but yes, like you said, they were in completely different scenarios. They were in a team-based game compared to a pair-based game, and also compared to the last elimination before the final, which is like anything goes at that.
Right.
Like you can throw your best friend in if you think he has a better chance of beating you in a final, and I feel like the best friend would somewhat understand. As long as they have that agreement to like, we're bringing each other as far as we can. That's always the agreement, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, obviously that whole situation where she was trying to save Fessy was weird and like forced and toxic in general. I don't even think that was fully, I want to say I need Fessy to stay on this team. It was more, let me look for an excuse to have a conversation with Tori or with Jordan.
Yeah.
And, it just got messy. But that's interesting that Zach is commentating this season.
Yeah, fucking Zach of all people.
They're running low on money. They need more diaper money, so Zach decides he needs to come back.
Maybe. Congrats to them. They just had a new baby too.
Yeah, baby number 2.
Cute baby.
Yeah, baby number 2. Yeah, good for them. We get to the daily challenge. Frozen senseless. There's a freezing cold ice bath in the middle. Partners will race in opposite directions towards a barricade, dig under to get through, then race to their respective sides of the course. One will feel around like a black box, attempting to make sense of like 3D symbols, and the other will be at the station, the solving station, where they see all of these puzzle pieces.
Yeah.
You have to memorize the information and relay it while sitting in the middle in the ice tub. Cool twist. It's hard to talk. Yeah. I actually do this at a very micro scale at the end of my shower sometimes. If I take a shower and I'm like gonna go out, hang out with friends, or I'm gonna go do something, I like to end my showers with a minute of cold water, because it keeps your dopamine levels higher, like sustains it at a higher level throughout the day. Some fucking
little stat like that,
little tip and trick. But so, and I have such a hard time breathing, for like half of it. It's just like my breathing is so shaky. So I understand how difficult it could be to like communicate and relay information while in this tub.
Yeah.
Cool challenge in general.
It was
all right. Yep. I liked Horacio's method of being on the same side in the ice tub. Everyone was facing each other in the ice tub, but Horacio was like getting on the same side of Olivia, and I felt like that helped with the directions, because like left and right is different. If you're just facing each other, it's hard to like explain where the blocks were. So I liked that, but it didn't seem to make a big difference in the episode at all.
But that's like some vet thinking right there. I like that.
Yeah, they're like, the only team
think of different ways to like win.
Yeah. It didn't even seem like it was allowed. I mean, if it was allowed, I feel like more teams would be doing that, but a lot of teams did struggle with communication, Benani being one of them. Fessy and Mariah never really communicated that well in general, so they struggled a little bit. And this is Devin's MO. Like relaying information in an articulate fashion. Like he is just amazing with his words, and he's very precise and literate. So this was his challenge to win.
Right.
Yeah. And what a timely victory it was, because TJ didn't tell them that they were going to the final. He decided to stress them out a bit and say they're just one step closer to the final, even though this was the win that secured them a final spot.
Yeah, I think I would have preferred it if he had mentioned it.
Yeah.
Cause I
I
don't know, maybe it would have made it that much better to watch.
um if he did mention it at the Daily Challenge, then whoever didn't compete in the elimination would have known they're going into the final, probably. Yeah. So maybe like not telling Devin and Tori made it so they were able to surprise everybody at once at the end of the elimination. So maybe that's why they did it, to get like everyone's reaction at the same time, which I do enjoy. I mean, that's one of the best parts of the season is when TJ's like, all right, fine, you're going to the final.
Yeah, like I don't know. I think I still would have preferred it if you mentioned it because I think with the whole storyline that Bananas, like, there are only a few, like a handful of challengers that when they're in the elimination, it doesn't feel like an elimination. It more so, it feels like an event.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
so and so is in the
Bananas
elimination.
is one of those people.
Bananas is one of those people.
Yeah.
And for it to been the last one, he had never seen one that season. And just him being Bananas.
Yeah. Attached with
I think it
Nani.
would have made the episode that much more like just intense.
Yeah.
Especially with that elimination that they did with the whole like we'll get there, but like I think I would have heard it if they did that. Yeah, and also there were a lot of goofy moments in this episode.
But especially like reminiscing of the friendship of Bananas and Devin.
Yeah, and then also like remember the scene where TJ was like explaining the rules and he was like, I don't give a fuck. If you want to jump in, go ahead.
I thought Jordan was going to be crazy enough to just jump in.
Yeah. And then there was like a random scene during like a Banani confessional where Nani just sneezed in the middle of the confession. I'm like, what is this episode? This is the episode before the final?
A comedy, yeah. It's
Yeah,
supposed to be
like
super serious, yeah, before the
5.
final, and it's just all comedy skits, it feels like.
I know. It was so random.
And then Bananas calls Wes, another funny moment.
He calls Wes, yeah.
This is becoming a challenge staple. Somebody calls another cast member on the show.
Yeah. And they reversed it from All Stars 3. Because remember, Wes called Bananas on All Stars. So it's like, I don't know if you noticed like the different names that they were giving Wes.
I didn't. I saw a screenshot though, and I was like, is that photoshopped or did they really do that?
They really did that. It was like Bananas' his best friend. I think the most important one was 3-time champ.
3-time champ. Yeah, it said like dog owner.
Dog owner, like scumbag, I think. Yeah. So it was like,
that's funny, man. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, yeah, he calls Wes, and I think this helps. I think this is like almost cheating, being able to call somebody of Wes's caliber, somebody who is so close with Devin, somebody else who's in the house, and basically able to tell Bananas the ins and out of Devin's game. And and he basically does that. He was like, I can guarantee you that he's playing all sides, and he is. And it also gives him a one-up on Devin when they're in interrogation, and Bananas sneakily mentions, oh yeah, I was on the phone with Wes earlier, and telling him how close we are. So it almost is like it's like, hey man, like I told Wes we were on good terms, so like if you throw me in, then like everything's gonna be fucked between the three of us. Just I don't know. I felt like he threw that in to try to make Devin feel bad for possibly throwing him in.
Yeah, try to use that against him.
Yeah, he's like, Wes is your best friend. I just had a conversation with him, and
yeah, like
yeah.
I don't know. I guess that was a smart play. And also he was really playing up the fact that they are much better now as friends.
Yeah, and after that interrogation, Devin really struggled with like possibly throwing Bananas in. It seemed like he was more confused than ever after that interrogation.
Yeah, they were showing a lot of flashback scenes this episode. That scene with him and Devin on Final Reckoning, I remember that entire argument like I just watched it yesterday.
Yeah, they started the clip right after what Banana said because they weren't showing that shit again.
Of course, right? They're not that messy anymore, right?
What do you think about that? I was like, should they have shown it? Like, would they have shown it if it was not Bananas, like the comment? Because they go back to flashbacks of some pretty bad things,
I think Final Reckoning was that last, like, I think every season after Final Reckoning was PG-13.
Yeah.
Final Reckoning was TV-14. Whereas, like, it was that last season to get your most fucking worst thing you can say to somebody out.
Yeah, it was messy.
That's what I think, honest to God.
Yeah, I'm glad they didn't show it.
I'm like, they wouldn't do half of this shit today.
Yeah, I'm glad they didn't show it. I only needed to see that once. I don't need to see it again.
Yeah, so it's like.
But yeah, it could be like saving face for Bananas a little bit, the edit. Because maybe the edit would have like if it was like if it was a Fessy, would they have shown like the whole Fessy comment? Like I don't know. I just wonder. Devin and Tori are torn between Banani and Fessy and Mariah. Talked about that a little bit. So yeah, I mean, not much happened until the elimination. This episode spent a lot of time on the elimination. It was a good elimination, so it makes sense. Even though it was very one-sided. Devin and Tori end up throwing in Fessy and Mariah. I think they made the right decision here. Hindsight, says maybe they did. Well, we'll see. But what would you have done? Would you have thrown in Bananas and Nani or Fessy and Mariah?
Oh man, I mean, it's funny because I think you make a great point. I think this season, Fessy and Mariah does look like the stronger team. Just the entire way.
Yeah.
But Fessy had said something in regards of Banana that I 100% agree with. He says that, like, see, this is the thing with Bananas. The second he hits that final, he turns it on.
Mm-hmm.
And these stupid little games that we do is the shit that he's good at.
Bananas loved that comment. He milked it on his podcast. His intro was introducing Horacio to the show, but somehow sneaking in there, throwing shade at Fessy because of that comment. He was like, "Oh, well, I'm only good at stupid things that get me 7 wins on the challenge. At least I'm not a." He was like, "At least I'm not a college failure or football failure, something like that."
Yeah,
paraphrasing. Yeah. But yeah,
and I agree with that though. Like, I agree that once Bananas hits that final, he turns it up. Mm-hmm. Like, that's it. That's the best version of Bananas we're gonna get that season when he's in that final.
Yeah.
And so, like, all in all, I know Fessy and Mariah, it was the better team throughout the season, but none of that matters once you're in the final.
None of it. No.
Right? It's like comparing like regular season stats to when you guys are in the playoffs.
Yeah. Or a regular season to playoffs, not even stats, just in general. Yeah. It's a different vibe. It's a different environment.
Yeah. Everyone starts at 0 at the final.
Yeah, so exactly. Like, doesn't matter how many eliminations you won. It doesn't matter how many dailies you won. It's clean slate.
Clean slate.
Who can win the hardest challenge.
Yeah, who could win this last one? And so, like, I would have Bananas and Nani would have been my direct vote. Honestly, you can't. I just can't. You just can't, bro.
I hear where you're coming from. I do. Because like if you don't and they go to a final and they beat you, that's what you're gonna beat yourself up on. Like. But at the same time,
make it to another final.
Huh?
You let Bananas make it to another.
Right.
Like, come on.
Yeah. But
like,
I mean,
that's what you're gonna get called out for.
I think obviously, hindsight 2020, Bananas and Nani would have. I don't know if they would have beat anyone in this elimination. I don't think Fessy and Mariah. I think Fessy and Mariah might have lost to anybody in this elimination.
Yeah,
because they sucked at it.
Yeah.
Whether Fessy was way too heavy. Let me explain it real quick. 2 giant towers, each with 2 rope bridges attached. When they go in, Jordan's like, "Yes, we got this." And I'm like, "I see rope bridges, Jordan. And I don't think Anissa will be good at this." But luckily they didn't have to compete in it. The rope bridge is missing the rungs to get to the top. So you have to grab available rungs and work your way up the bridge, but you only have 3 rungs. If you fall or drop a rung, you have to start again, which I can't imagine many worse things in this elimination than dropping a rung when you're almost at the top. Like, ugh.
Which anything that has a learning curve to it is terrible.
Yeah. You know what What elimination did this remind you of in recent seasons? Did it remind you of any?
I didn't really think about it. I thought the first one that pops into my head is that one with Kyle and Josh from last season when they were making the bridge, but they had like 16 pieces on that one.
Yeah, and then they had to like jump and hit a bell. Was that?
Yeah, jump and hit a bell, and like Josh was like missing a whole bunch. But that's the only one I can think of that was like they had to make their way.
Yeah,
Literally
I
make
got
it.
one. You're forgetting one. It was Spies, Lies, and Allies, Berna versus Tasha, where they had to build the ladder and it took forever, and like the rungs were freaking flimsy and they would fall off, and yeah, that's what it reminded me of.
That's right.
But yeah, back to the elimination itself. I don't, Fessy must have been on the ground the whole elimination. He couldn't. I don't know whether it's his weight. What do you think? Like, do you think he could have been able to figure it out even though he's 6'5" and weighs over 200 pounds? Do you think it was like a finesse thing? Do you think he should have been able to figure out, or if it was impossible?
Oh my god, I think he was he never got even halfway through
Yeah.
this thing. Like
You think it's his body type, or just like he couldn't click? He couldn't figure it out.
Like I think he was just his weight, honestly. Because the second he goes to step,
Yeah,
it's
man.
like I'm surprised he didn't fucking snap one of those things in half. Like, bro, he's I think this was the worst thing for
He could have
Fessy
used one of those rungs as a fucking toothpick.
because those ropes are like very thin.
Yeah.
Too. Like, and they're shaky too. Like, this was impossible
Yeah, and the rungs were just like the perfect amount of length to, like, if they moved left or right at all, they would fall, like any amount of wrong pressure. I don't want to give like Fessy a pass and be like, oh, this isn't fair. This is eliminations in a nutshell. You're a 6'5" individual. Yeah, 90% of eliminations you're gonna win, but if you find yourself in an elimination like this, then you're gonna lose. It's like if a smaller person finds himself in a elimination that's a reverse tug of war. It's like, fuck,
Yeah, and also like not everything is gonna be strength based.
Yeah.
Fessy, like, he was undefeated up until that point, and he finally got one that had nothing to do with strength. So, or he couldn't use any of his muscle to his advantage in this one.
His muscles was his disadvantage in this one.
Yeah, is what it was. All that damn muscle, right? So, yeah, that's what I think. I don't think they were trying to make it seem like they could come back and figure it out. Bananas was having professionals with like, oh, I'm afraid that if we don't get it, they're gonna figure out a technique that works and all this stuff. But I didn't think Fessy was getting up that thing at all. He didn't even get halfway up.
Nah, he didn't get up at all. And Mariah wasn't doing well either, which is weird because obviously she's a smaller girl. She should be able to figure it out. So I don't know, maybe it wasn't clicking for her, but I'll tell you, Nani catching that rung with her feet is like Sports Center top 5 plays of the year.
I mean, that should have been on ESPN the day, the following morning. I mean,
I'm dead ass. Yeah.
I can't even believe Nani caught that with her foot.
That's so impressive. It's like the intuition, like the snap adaptation, just to like snap movement. Like it's so crazy how she did that and how she like accomplished it. Like she could have tried to save it with her feet, but the fact that she did save it with her feet while being like a few rungs away from the ring is ridiculous.
Yeah, and also just like that was after she had already been at the top and the rung had fell.
Yeah.
And she had to restart. Like, remember, like right before the commercial, she was like, "You got to be fucking kidding me!"
I know,
she was right there.
Yeah, it's like, can I just hit the fucking bell? Like,
yeah, she was right there and had to restart. Like, so, oh man.
Yeah, let's restart. All right. Yeah, crazy Nani play. Nani showed up this season. Who knows if this was the Nani we've seen throughout her whole career, if she would have a win.
Yeah, I mean, I think you could argue whether her and Bananas end up winning or not. I think you could argue that this was Nani's best season.
Oh, I think it's regardless of if they win. I think this is Nani's best season
for sure.
Yeah. I mean, other than that, it's free agents, obviously. I think if Bananas and Nani win this season, it's like the biggest challenge season in general, like for the winners. Like there's just so much history between these two together and individually throughout the history of the challenge. So it's just like a monumental challenge win and season, I think.
Yeah, but Nani would be a huge win just for me as like a challenge fan because Battle of the X's 2 is my favorite season of all time. And the team that I was rooting for throughout that whole season was Banani. I mean, I was heartbroken when they got eliminated. I hated Wes, right? And then the Exile twist came on. I was watching it online, following along. When they came back, it was like the Yankees just won the World Series when they came back. It was just like, yeah, and then they blah blah blah, and I followed them the whole way. And so when I saw that they were going to be a pair this season, I was just like, oh, my heart.
Yeah, my expectations were pretty low. Not low, but like mediocre. I was just like, yeah, they'll do fine, but I don't think they'll win. But now they put themselves in a position to where they could win. So
yeah, seeing them hit the final this time, whereas last time watching them, they got knocked out right before the final.
Yeah,
was nice, like full circle kind of moment.
Yeah, you were probably getting a little PTSD on this elimination.
Yeah, because I was just like, well, fuck, they were the last elimination the last time they were a pair.
Yeah, good thing it wasn't physical. Like I would hate to see like Fessy versus Bananas in a physical elimination.
Yeah, thank God Leroy and Teresa weren't here this time because fuck.
Yeah, right.
So
crazy matchup in general, just Bananas and Nani going against Fessy and Mariah. Obviously, I don't think we've seen Bananas and Fessy against each other.
No.
Really, so.
And I remember in Total Madness, Bananas was offered to go down into that elimination that Fessy beat Jordan in, and he was like, hell no, I'm good. But there is something I want to point out really quickly. Shout out Challenge Stats.
Yeah, of course.
Who comes with stats.
Always.
He put up a stat that this is Bananas' 8th time. 8th. No. In his challenge career 20? Being in the final elimination.
Oh my God.
Of a season. His 8th time.
For somebody who, it's almost a little bit expected for somebody who's been on the show for so long and who's made it to so many finals, because you got to think about it. That elimination before the final only consists of like 5 teams in the house. So it's like kind of likely that, you're one of those 5 teams that go into elimination. So I guess it's not too surprising, but it sounds awful, like being that close to a final 8 times and possibly going home. Obviously he won maybe half of those.
Yeah, like he did the stat of he won 6 of those.
Wow. 6 for 6.
There were only 2 that he had lost, and one of them you could argue that production kind of screwed him because one of them was the Final Reckoning one. The other one he straight up lost, which was the X's 2 one, right? But all the other ones that he was in, going all the way back to like the Ruins, he won.
Yep, the Ruins. He had that pole rope wrestle with Dunbar, which was super intense.
Yeah, and then he beat Mark and Robin on X's 1.
Yep. Although there is some controversy behind that one with Mark letting him win.
Yeah, there is that one. The iconic one with CT and Adam on Rivals 1.
And even iconic as well, Free Agents against CT, the puzzle.
And then probably the most forgettable one that a lot of people don't think about is the Rivals 3 one with Dario and Nicole.
Yes.
With
maybe somewhat of an easy victory for Bananas and Sarah, but still, it was a very tough elimination. That was one of the tougher ones.
Yeah, I saw that stat and I was like, I feel like I just need to bring that up because like 8 times?
Yeah.
You might as well expect him to be in the final elimination every season.
I think 20 seasons he's done, I think. That so 8 seasons out of 20 he had to
8 of those seasons he was in the final elimination.
Yeah, be an elimination before the final.
Yeah.
Pretty wild. That's a lot of stress.
That's a lot of stress.
That's what I think of.
Yeah.
But yes, Banani win. Fessy and Mariah go home. My pick to win the season goes home, but I'm kind of happy about it. It's not like I'm a big Fessy fan. Sure. I guess he belongs on the challenge. I don't know.
Shout out to Mariah.
Yes, shout out to Mariah.
I love Mariah.
Yes.
I think she needs to be back.
Yes.
For future seasons. Fessy.
He's gonna be back. He's gonna be back. It doesn't even matter whether we want him or not. He's gonna be back.
He's gonna be back. Yeah. So like that's all I can say. We know.
I did see him in the outro interview after they lost, and he seemed like he was in good spirits. This is what, his fourth season?
Fourth season. This is his first time
getting eliminated.
Getting eliminated.
Him and Casey have a very similar path. Although Fessy got DQ'd last season, Casey has made it to every final. And then they both got eliminated in elimination for the first time this season.
Yeah, and you know what? I will say though, with Casey and Fessy, they got some pretty good names to say that was the people who eliminated them. Right? It's not like some scrubs beat them. Right, like Bananas and Nani knocked out Fessy, and who knocked out
Jordan and Anissa? What was that elimination again? It just happened. How do I?
Not so fast.
Oh yeah, it was. Yeah.
Yeah, so it was like, okay, if there's anybody I would want my first L to be to, at least it's to someone who's good.
They're the real deal. Yeah, you look at their resume and it's like, they made it to the final pretty much every time, unless they've been DQ'd. And then, the eliminations that they did lose, it was to multi-time champs.
Yeah.
What are you going to do? Or like very experienced veterans like Anissa.
Yeah.
Let's go to the final. Jordan and Anissa, team number 1. Banani, team number 2. Olivia and Horacio, team number 3. We haven't talked about them at all. We got to talk about them.
Rookies of the year.
Devin and Tori, team number 4. Like I said, we have not mentioned Olivia and Horacio, kind of flying under the radar. Maybe not a lot of people are thinking they have a chance, but when you look at these teams next to each other on paper, I don't see why not.
Yeah, they're the most, at least within my challenge followers on Twitter. I posted a tweet saying that who are you going to be rooting for out of these next 4, and Olivia and Horacio were the number 1 vote in that.
Come on. Who the fuck's wants rookies to beat all these vets? God damn.
I know, and that was another thing I was going to point out. Notice how there's no rookie. Fessy and Mariah were the last ones. There was no vet rookie pair in the final.
There were vet. Yeah, all three vet pairs and 1 rookie pair. Wow.
Yeah, no rookie vet pair. Fessy and Mariah was the last hope.
Yeah.
They didn't make it.
Yeah. That's pretty wild. Because there were a bunch of vet rookie teams. No, maybe not a bunch. There was only a few, I guess. Jack and Laurel. And I don't feel like Amber and Chauncey, Fessy and Mariah. I guess there was a good amount.
Yeah.
So
hang on.
Jordan could possibly win his 4th.
Yeah.
Anissa would be her 1st. Bananas would be his 8th. Would be Nani's 1st. Obviously would be Olivia and Horacio's 1st. And Devin and Tori's 1st win. Devin and Tori are almost lined up to win this. Last season they were the runner-ups, right?
Yeah.
They were
Tori
Tori was, and then Devin was like with I forget, with some chick.
Emmy.
Wow, I forgot she existed. Wow.
This is a redemption for Tori, because I think whether you like Tori or not, I think a lot of people would agree that last season was Tori's season to win, and kind of got a little screwed out that Casey was able to pick CT to run the rest of the final with him, because a lot of people, including me, I thought Tori should have won last season.
Yeah.
So,
and I think I remember saying like that might be the closest she'll ever get. but
Yeah,
I was
and
wrong.
a lot of the girls, I feel like, have a lot of because this is, if you're not counting the final that Anissa made it to on All Stars, the last final Anissa made it to was the Duel 2. The Duel 2, that was like 13 years ago.
Yeah, and she looked like
If
a
we're
different
not
person.
counting All Stars, if we're counting All Stars, okay, she just made it to a final not too long ago. But like, if we're not, it's been 13 years since she last was seen a final.
Yeah, I mean, the All Stars final was a final, so she experienced it and knows how hard a final is. So the final was real, but it was on a spin-off show, so it's kind of hard to say.
Yeah, and then you got Nani with everything. This has been her best season. She's won a few eliminations.
Yeah, wait, what eliminations did she win? I think she said she won 3 this season. She won against Mariah, she won this one. Was there a third?
No, I was gonna point that out. I think she spoiled us. But I don't think that's Nani's fault. I think that's production's fault for leaving that in there.
Was it a confessional or was it like a after elimination interview?
I don't know, bro, because when she said it, I was like, 3?
Yeah.
When did you win 3?
So you think there's an elimination in the final?
In the final. And
I'll have to go back. If it was in
clearly,
a confessional, I'm totally on board with this conspiracy. But if it was an after elimination interview, then clearly it was just a mishap.
I don't know, bro. Cause like, why would she just say 3?
Yeah,
That I won. This is 3. I won 3. Because it's not
it just
like
could be the
said,
adrenaline
like,
after the win. You know, they'd put the mic and be like, "How do you feel?" And it's like, "Oh my god, I can't believe I won 3 eliminations, even though she won 2." Because she can't.
Yeah.
You know, like that's why if it was like in a confessional where like, you know, a confessional interview where she said 3, then it's like she thought about it, she had time to think about it, which could spoil something in the final.
And shame. And if that's the case, shame on production for not catching that and actually featuring that in the episode.
And honestly,
because how did you guys let that slip?
Yeah, Bananas had a confessional that almost made it seem like he was going to win because he was like, if Mariah beats me, I don't know how I'm going to live with that. But then he said, but when I beat Mariah, it's also going to suck. And it was almost like he was saying he already beat her.
Yeah, and you know what? Bananas ain't shit. I gotta call out Bananas for a second. There was a confessional with Mariah where she was like crying, talking about the elimination, and then she's like, "Oh, I think Bananas is so great. I hope he goes on to win it." Blah 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 blah. And then Bananas' confessional was like, "Well, better her than me, I guess."
You know, you can change, but really, he's still Bananas is a changed man, but he can still tap into his scumbagness.
Yeah. What a scumbag, bro! What the fuck?
Yeah, well, it didn't burn any bridges because it seems like they're still hanging out in real life to this day. So
I guess, yeah.
But yeah, that's some savagery at its best.
Yeah.
But also, I mean, kind of agree. You know, at least I'm not going home. You know?
Hey, I'm not going home.
Hey, you know,
final, baby.
It sucks, but good thing. But yeah, I'm really looking forward to this final. Who's your pick?
Who's my pick? My pick, for old time's sake, for the 2015 version of me, I gotta go Team Banani.
Yeah.
I'm going Team Banani to win the whole thing. I just think I would love that win for Nani. Out of everybody, I would love that win for Nani because I feel like out of all the girls, I feel like Nani wants it the most. And even if we're comparing it to the guys, I feel like Nani is the person who wants this the most out of everybody that's in that final.
Yeah, man. Oh man, it's so hard between Banani and Devin and Tori for me. It's a fucking a coin flip. My heart says Banani. My brain is leaning towards Devin and Tori. But if I use my brain enough, I can come up with an excuse to go for Banani. Like Nani is a better I thought Nani was a better runner than Devin, but I remember one of the mini finals this season, and Tori was like, I'm having a hard time keeping up with Devin. So Devin must have upped his game with cardio a little bit, but I still think Bananas and Nani can outrun Devin long distance. So, which would make sense to think Banani is going to win.
I don't know.
It's hard, but I like that I can't even, predict who's going to win this final, which means it's going to be a close one.
Yeah, I hear you. I'm just going old time's sake.
Yeah.
Or like, I'm just like, just making the younger version of me happy by rooting for Team Banani on this one.
Just to be different, I'll say Devin and Tori, and you got Banani.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
but like I said, I mean, honestly, I think Olivia and Horacio have a better chance than Jordan and Anissa.
oh, I think Jordan and Anissa are getting last. I think so.
Yeah.
There's no doubt in my mind they're
It's gonna turn into like a let's finish this together.
Let's finish this together storyline, the classic. At least we finished.
Yeah.
Story.
And now, honestly, I'm so happy that Anissa finally made it to a final, because now I'm done hearing her being like, I just want to make it to another final because I deserve it. And it's like, yeah, sure, but you ain't gonna win.
No, wait, wasn't that her whole thing? She's like, I'm tired of getting eliminated like right before the final. We gotta check like the actual count on like how many
she's probably up there with Bananas with that number.
Yeah, because I did a post on Twitter showing the challengers who got knocked out right before the final, going all the way back to Dirty 30.
Yeah, I saw that one.
Anissa's not included in any of them.
Wasn't she the last on? Oh, she was like the second to last on Double Agents then.
Yeah, and then because Double Agents, it was Kyle.
Yeah, Kyle. It was but the last girl to be eliminated
was Big T.
Oh, it was Big T, because Big T beat Anissa in that like rope.
Yeah, and then Big T ended up getting knocked out. And then the next one I thought about was Total Madness. They brought that up, but it was Nelson and D who were the last two who got knocked out. But I with the whole
thou who shall not be named D.
Yeah, with her, I guess they're not acknowledging her, so they're just saying Anissa was the last one.
Are they actually?
Yeah,
like on like what website says that? Like
I literally just went. There's a website page, the Challenge fandom, that shows you all the stuff.
Yeah,
it says D was the last one who got knocked out by Jenny in a hall brawl. Yeah, but they're saying it was Anissa who got knocked out last by fucking Bailey in that one. So I still, they're not acknowledging her.
Whatever.
Which is like, all right, rightfully so.
Just keep the same energy. That's all I'm asking.
Yeah. Factually, it was not Anissa.
No.
Yeah, the stats say it was not Anissa who was the final one.
Oh, MTV. But yeah, that wraps it up. So like the regular season of Ride or Dies is over. We're heading into the playoffs, or into the championship game. We skip the playoffs on the challenge. We just go from regular season to championship game. The playoffs are like the last few eliminations or something.
Yeah, the last like 3 episodes are the last, or the playoffs essentially.
But yep, looking forward to the final. Anything else we forgot? No, I wanted to get how many finals each have been in. Anissa.
Like what would their like the updated? Like what would it be? So
it would be Anissa's second?
No, this would be Anissa's third.
Not counting All Stars.
No. Her first final was actually Gauntlet 2.
Okay.
It's Gauntlet 2, Duel 2, now Ride or Dies.
Yep.
This is Bananas' 10th.
Wow.
And I'm pretty sure with that, he ties CT
for final appearances.
Yeah, because CT hit his 10th last season.
Wow. That's so crazy, because it's either CT gets DQ'd or he goes to a final. It seems.
Yeah. And this is Jordan's 5th, I think. Yeah, this is Jordan's 5th season.
Yeah, he went to a final on his rookie year, then free agents got eliminated, and he's been to every final but free agents and Total Madness, I want to say.
Yeah. He Tori and Nani, this is their fourth. This is also Nani's third in a row.
Tori and Nani is their fourth. Nani was free agents.
And then the last three.
Double Agents and Spies Lies. Yeah.
And now Ride or Dies.
Wow.
Devin, this is his third.
This is his third. Yep. Rivals 3, Spies Lies.
Yeah. And then Olivia Horacio, their first appearance. 100 hours.
Wait, isn't this Devin? Wait, Devin was on. He was Rivals 3, Double Agents, and Spies Lies.
No. It was Rivals 3, Spies Lies, Ride or Dies.
Okay, Ride or Dies. And then what'd you say was the last one? Obviously, yeah, Olivia and Horacio.
Yeah.
Cool. Yeah, looking forward to it. I'm assuming it's got to be at least a 2-parter.
At least.
We'll be back next week, covering the first part of the final.
So,
yeah, looking forward to that. Thank you for joining, everybody. Feel free to give us a subscribe, like the video, comment, let us know how you thought about the episode, how you thought about the season thus far, who you think is going to win. That's what we really want to hear. Who's going to win this final? But yeah, other than that, we'll see you guys next week. As always, Adonis, thank you for joining me. Deuces.